In the vast story of human existence, our triumphs, struggles, and boundless creativity, few questions cut deeper than this. Who am I? How do we define our values, find our purpose, and navigate the chaos of life when we feel so lost? Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the greatest minds in philosophy and a pioneer of existential thought, believed that finding oneself in the maze of life is not just important, it is the very foundation of a meaningful life. Here are 4 powerful steps inspired by his philosophy to help you embark on that journey. Step 1. Like a herd of animals, a herd mentality aims towards sameness, comfort, and the preservation of its population. Don't follow the herd mentality, Nietzsche says. What we've called universal values, what we have called truth, has always been the personal expressions of those who promoted them. Likewise, people have created the moral code of society and then forced it on other people so that society may regulate human behavior. That limits our uniqueness and inventiveness, even if it helps us avoid some extreme human actions. Furthermore, the rigorous dogmatic assessment of human behavior might even lead certain people to become more rebellious, therefore fostering strong antisocial attitudes and, even worse, behavior. The rebel reaction can sometimes be similarly severe if these authoritarian limits and regulations turn into despotic and illogical harshness. If society's moral code is flexible enough, then those who have different opinions do not have to be especially strong to bring about the desired transformation of the world. In actual life, more often than not, morality is taught in a somewhat rigid manner. Not only does the educational, ecclesiastical, and social systems reflect that. Most people's attitude is also one of not wanting to stand out from the group in fear of rejection. Consequently, every person who sticks out too much seems to be frightening and dangerous, claims the representatives of those organizations. People are terrified of the unknown, as is a well-known fact, and this dynamic exactly reflects that. Our daily life clearly shows this. This dynamic exists in the medieval ages, as well as in the modern society. It's all from the same cloth, whether it's Galileo getting executed for thinking outside the box, at school when your peers laughed at you or some other student for being unique and different. People who have severed their creative ideas and goals make up the herd. They are insecure and even threatened by everyone that displays those traits. Those people fear change and find it difficult to accept that some of their potential has not been fully achieved. Though that insight is frightening, an individualistic and determined person has to avoid allowing the mistakes of others to pull them down in life. Rather, you must walk your own path, abandon the herd, then flasha becomes so strong it cannot be overlooked. You might begin by challenging and quieting the negative voices you absorbed during your youth. Whether it's a father, a strict teacher, a narcissistic lover, it doesn't matter. Whoever told you couldn't achieve things you would want to, most likely told you because they were terrified of your success as it would highlight all of their negative traits. They therefore aimed to restrict your uniqueness and drag you back into the herd. Being strong-minded and courageous also helps you overcome the terrifying sensation of leaving your comfort zone, as it is a necessary step towards realizing who you really are. Now that you've taken the first step toward finding yourself, remember, this is just the beginning. In the next steps, we'll uncover the most profound truths Nietzsche believed could transform not only how you see yourself but how you live your life. The final step is the one most people overlook, yet it holds the key to true freedom and purpose. Don't miss it. Step 2. Accept the challenge of self-discovery. Nietzsche said, "No price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself." Our natural and instinctual response is to avoid all suffering. We have become unappreciative and have forgotten that suffering is a necessary aspect of life, since the ease of obtaining things and technology have made us lazy. But Nietzsche says we are only spiritually developing when we are ready to meet the demands of life. At 29 years old, Nietzsche tackled this basic subject of how we find ourselves in a magnificent essay called Schopenhauer as Educator. In this essay, He maintained that one must follow the challenging road frequently leading to isolation if one wants to be someone in this world and maximize their potential. Although loneliness is not easy, this is one of the costs one must pay for the honor of owning oneself. You have to isolate yourself from others if you want to prevent the tribe from overwhelming you. This will help you to be free and might cause major problems in your life. No matter how scary it may be, you should choose to start the road towards acquiring your freedom to be yourself and reject following an easier route. Being free from all physiological and psychological wants means, in other words, not letting them drive you, but rather allowing you to drive them instead. For instance, you have to strive to become first cognizant of any emotional inclination you experience, such as a really angry complaint to someone, then determine whether or not to act upon it. Though the resemblance is simply on the surface, Nietzsche's theory on this topic is somehow like many modern-day motivating gurus and thought leaders. Nietzsche goes further if inspirational gurus concentrate on self-development, largely in order to reach earthly prosperity and a fulfilled life on a material and relational level. The battle is an inner one for him. He is trying to find himself, and this one is a far more difficult one, needing a completely different kind of sacrifice. Nietzsche teaches you, for instance, to first examine the main cause of your desire to be confident, and, generally, you will find it is just the desire to impress other people, such as your loved ones and friends, or to prove a point about yourself to society in general. If a motivating guru teaches you how to be more confident in order to become popular and attract investors for your business, a basic study could cause you to give up this need and concentrate more on far more important topics in your life, on much more profound problems, including self-discovery. And this effort can cause you to withdraw. Ignoring to compromise yourself will almost certainly cause you trouble with a lot of people. To go deep into your worries, study your strongest emotions, your darkness, and then rise above it. You must change your way of life and give up friendships or other kinds of relationships. You have to tear apart the fear and opinion bonds. Though Nietzsche exhorts us to challenge our own demons, you should not throw them out, since beyond them, there is a great meaning you should endeavor to grasp. You have to get out there in the world, do things, encounter different temptations, but always be there with your whole consciousness, and, at last, show as a person with a unique strength of character and a far richer inner nature. You cannot claim you have lived your life if you avoid going out and personally experience life in a fully awake condition. The distance you can travel will rely on the price you are ready to pay for that. You have to understand how to discover your inner brilliance if you are to develop self-ownership and steer clear of useless existence without direction. You have to follow a road not taken by others if you want to reach your inner genius, as you are special and no one else can walk that road on your behalf. Finding yourself is discovering your individuality, that special collection of values and objects you really enjoy and which speak to you. Step 3. To cite Nietzsche's Psyches, he who has a why can bear almost any how. Say yes to what gives you significance in our own life, the things we find worth in individually. In bygone times, God ensured everything of meaning. But Nietzsche argues that one cannot resort to religion to find meaning in a society going more and more secular and scientific. This worried him, as the average individual would be driven to nihilism, that is, widespread disinterest and an inability to find meaning in life without support. He thus presents us 3 ideas that every one of us might strive to apply to give our life purpose. To offer comparable benefits, his first recommendation was to substitute philosophy, art, music, literature, theater, and other humanities elements for religion. The humanities give us the means to place our hardships, efforts, and opportunity to see our life as not so different from those of those around us. They can provide ideas on how we could approach issues we have to all deal with. Reading history not only for the facts, but also for what those facts tell us, seeing them as a means of edifying yourself, or watching tragic plays to see and understand the beauty in sad events, not just the entertainment. It is also a tool for living. Should humanities not appeal to you, Nietzsche advises a second choice: become a superhuman that generates his own meaning and values independent of outside inspiration. By just creating his own meaning and assuming all responsibility for it, such a person can solve the dilemma of the purpose of life. Only a few men, according to Nietzsche, approached being this way. These were Julius Caesar, Napoleon Bonaparte, the Buddha, and Goethe. Looking within and assessing what things we truly value and what things we merely claim we enjoy helps us humans find some purpose, while society tells us otherwise. According to Nietzsche, human psychic development is an always advancing narrative for which we should participate. Should you not value being a superhuman, Nietzsche advises loving your existence regardless of its contents as another means of finding purpose. One of Nietzsche's most fascinating concepts, and one which might provide much comfort when we most need it, is amor fati, the love of fate. To love your fate is to recognize that everything that has happened in your life, the good, the bad, and indeed the ugly, has shaped you and what you are doing right now. Although trying to build yourself will cause some setbacks, embracing those mistakes with your achievements can help you rekindle the passion of life and enable you to find the purpose of it, even in the worst times. Step 4. Would you not throw yourself down and gnash your teeth and curse the demon who spoke thus? Find your true values. Nietzsche asks us, what if some day or night a demon were to steal after you into your loneliest loneliness and say to you, this life as you now live it and have lived it, you will have to live once more and innumerable times more. To release the greatest weight, Nietzsche said we must establish our own values. Nietzsche's greatest weight is a figurative scenario he suggests, whereby the unevaluated values you inherit from your herd cause you to be crushed into repeating past mistakes. This idea aims to make you consider whether what you are doing is really worthwhile, or if you are merely following what your herd believes to be proper. You will have enough bravery and power to raise the greatest weight if you believe that the activities you are performing are worth doing eternally, and that you are totally individuated. If you do not believe that your current lifestyle is worth repeating endlessly, chances are you have not developed your own values and you are still a prisoner to your culture, and worse still, to yourself. If you find yourself repeating the same mistakes you always have and are left feeling shattered, the likelihood is you haven't reassessed the morality your herd has placed on you. You are not thus a completely evolved person yet. Only then, the greatest weight can be lifted once you rethink your moral terrain. How many times have you been ignoring someone gaslighting you simply because you didn't want to face the person? Alternatively, how often have you heard your friend or yourself declare, I'm with the identical person with identical problems? If you were your own, with your own set of morals, you wouldn't find yourself continuing in poisonous situations only because it's the right thing to do. You would realize that it is not worth it, as you are merely striving to be a decent person by society's criteria. According to Nietzsche, with every small thing ask yourself, do you wish this once more and innumerable times over? If the answer is no, then you need to change yourself and reevaluate your values. Then and only then the weight can be lifted. True good lies beyond standard definitions of good and evil. Most of us live our lives in our self-imposed jail. Our jail cells are blandly pre-subscribed by social beliefs that captivate the wildness and individualism of the human spirit. Many of us submit to the comfort of this cage. Nietzsche recognized that we can escape our enclosure of forced beliefs and awaken ourselves to what we value personally. To break free and to create your own values and meaning in life, you have to undergo this transformation. You have to go through this rebellious phase. You need to have the courage to break the chains of tradition, of religion, of society, and perhaps you even have to distance yourself from several people in your life. It doesn't need to be a violent and sudden reaction. It can, and should, be a smart, calm, but definitive one. You can start with making a list of everything and everyone you think limits your freedom to be yourself. It can be an unfortunate unwritten rule at your workplace. It could be your spouse who always tries to control and correct your behavior. Or it may be your friends or your parents who criticize you when you behave in a particular way. When you feel overtaken by the greatest weight, you don't need to hide your aspirations, but instead, you need to break out from your self-made herd-based prison and chase after the dreams that give meaning to your life. If you enjoyed this video, please do make sure to check out the full The Walk of Life channel, and for more videos to help you find success and happiness using ancient philosophical wisdom, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.